suits they give you, your body can only sustain below 0 temperatures for so long. And the man was sick more than he was well. And we knew there had to be something better out there for us. We just had no idea what that better thing was going to be. And one night I was up late watching one of those late night infomercials on how to buy houses with no money down. And I thought, man, wouldn't it be cool if that really worked? So I actually called one of my customers who actually happened to be the person who ran our local club meeting in Tampa, Florida. I am from the West Coast of Florida. And I said, hey, what do you think about this real estate investing stuff? Does it really work? And he said, of course it does. Come to one of our meetings and make that decision for yourself. And so we started going to some meetings and some programs, and we started buying books and tapes and programs and putting them on a shelf and putting them on a shelf, never to be seen again. How many folks have been to that seminar? Well, after about a year, we had spent over $13,000 on books, tapes, and programs, and we had done absolutely nothing. And so we decided that we wanted to do one darn deal because we wanted our money back at least. And so that's kind of what got us started into using direct mail marketing to find these motivated sellers. We'd already learned that if you could get a seller to contact you first, you were much more likely to make a better deal. And there were folks out there that were asking, you know, what made you decide on direct mail marketing? Well, one of the things that I discovered was that at the point in time that we decided to start our business, I also realized that my husband was extremely introverted and he didn't really like working with sellers. So we needed to make a way that was more comfortable for him to work with the sellers as well. But you know what we figured out? There were a lot of other people like that also. And so it ended up that we started getting more leads and more deals coming in using direct mail marketing. And so we started focusing and honing in on specific kinds of sellers who were more likely to want to work with us. And we ended up doing our very first deal. And we called this one our haunted house. Most of our houses have had names through the years, and this one was our haunted house. And you can see why we might have called it that. The house sat on 6 acres, looked exactly like this. The house was worth about $337,000, needed about $30,000 or so in repairs. And the seller simply deeded us the home for the mortgage of his balance, which happened to be $197,000 at the time. So we realized that we had a deal there. So we ended up using another technique that we had learned called a round robin auction to sell this property. But before we did that, we actually had a lawn maintenance company come in. They got it looking really good. They took the dead trees out. We had the inside clean from top to bottom. We did not do any of the rehab to the property. We ended up showing the house 54 times in one weekend, and we sold that house for $275,000 without doing anything to it other than the landscaping and the cleaning. When everything was said and done, we walked away with a check for $51,635. Well, that's what I had in mind. So at this point in time, my boss is teasing me relentlessly. Have you done a deal yet, huh? So I took a copy of that check to work the next day and I said, hey, look what I did. And he said, hey, you're fired. So that's how I got into real estate investing full time. So what I continued to do was I continued to go after these motivated sellers, and we started creating more very targeted direct mail campaigns. And all of a sudden I had more deals coming at me than I could handle. And so about a month or so later, I called my husband at work one day and I said, honey, I need you to do me a big favor. And he said, what? I said, quit. He said, are you serious? And I said, absolutely. I can't continue to do all the deals that are coming in by myself anymore. And that's kind of how we got started in real estate investing full time. Since that time, we've done hundreds of deals. I will tell you a good piece of advice. Don't lock yourself into any one niche. We never have done that. We've never locked ourselves into wholesaling or retailing or whatever. We do, if a deal makes sense to us and it's a win-win between us and that seller, we're going to do that deal. And so we basically, we like single family homes the best. We do urban commercial. We do vacant land. That's a seminar for a whole nother day, which actually is going to be May the 1st. We'll talk about that later. We do those good old wobbly boxes down here in Florida, those mobile homes, duplexes, triplexes, quads. So whatever comes at us and whatever makes sense is the deal that we are going to do. Another really good piece of advice for you. Shut off the news, shut off the TV, get off of Facebook and get out there and get some deals done. Folks, we are in an amazing, unique market right now, and there are a ton of deals to be done. And we're going to be talking a lot about that tonight. The other thing we're also going to be talking about is that at the end of the call tonight, I am going to make a very special offer to just a very few of you. And I'm going to be showing you how you can implement my system at no cost to you whatsoever. So you need to hang with us all the way to the end of the call. And we're going to make that offer to just a very few folks on the call tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about why you should develop a marketing strategy to begin with. Well, number one, to get highly motivated sellers and lenders contacting you first. Folks, if you can get motivated sellers contacting you first, you are going to make much more profitable deals. Number two, buy properties that no one knows are for sale, including the sellers. These are sellers who have a variety of problems they need to solve. They just have no idea how to do that until they're contacted by you. Number three, put systems in place that are going to net profitable deals for you and for your family. Folks, as you continue in the real estate investing business, and especially for those of you who are newbies, take a moment to figure out why you wanted to get into this business in the first place. What's your goal? What's your dream? What is it that you're looking to accomplish? Take a big piece of cardboard and write down what those goals and dreams are and put them up on a wall somewhere where you can see them every single day to stay motivated and not procrastinate and continue to move forward in your business so that you will be doing deal after deal after deal. And then fill your pipeline with new deals every single day. I hope that's okay with everybody. All right, so why direct mail marketing? Well, number one, to create the exact leads and deals that you are looking for. So each of you lives in a different area. Each of you has different goals and dreams and what you're trying to accomplish in your business. So you can create the exact leads and deals that you're looking for. You create the budget for your business. I know some of you are still working full-time jobs, and whether you have just a little bit of money to budget or a lot of money to budget, you are going to be able to create some profitable deals in the real estate investing business. So you get to create the budget for your business. You control the number of pieces that are going out and when, and sometimes that can be really important because if you have, if you have like a couple of rehabs going on, or you've got 2 or 3 deals going on, or you're going on vacation, you might want to turn that back to a trickle. The analogy that I use is a faucet. So you can turn it up to a gush or turn it back to a trickle, but you always get to control the number of pieces that are going out and when. Folks, this is really important. Write it down. Nobody in the world does this but me. Create a response mechanism in the body of the letter so that the seller knows what it is you want them to do, and your deals will be pre-screened for you when they hit your desk. So basically, you're going to create a response mechanism in the body of that letter. There's nobody else in the world out there that does that besides me. So when the responses from my deals hit my desk, they're already pre-screened for me. So let me give you an example of a deal that I'm working on right now. It came in a couple of weeks ago, and it was in a 9x11 clasp envelope. In that envelope, the seller sent me a copy of his deed, which I did not ask for. He sent me a copy of a plat map, which I didn't ask for. He sent me 2.5 pages telling me every single thing about the property since his grandfather built it, and 8 photographs of the property inside and out. Is this a motivated seller? Absolutely. And you already have most of the information that you need. And we're working with that seller right now to put that deal together. And that's the way that I want your deals to be, is pre-screened when they hit your desk. Okay, that way you're not dealing with, with garbage deals or dead deals that are coming in. You're going to reach sellers and lenders who would never get your message in any other way. They're not going to see the internet banners or the internet ads that you're running. They're not going to see the signage that you put out there. They're not going to get your business card, for example. So you're going to reach sellers and lenders who would never learn about you otherwise. How would you like a lender to call you on the phone and say, hey, how come you're not borrowing money from me? Would that be good? Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight as well. Direct mail is convenient for the seller and it has a long shelf life. I had a seller call me on the phone about 4 days ago, and it was a situation where it's an estate and the daughter has the house and she's going through it. And when she went through his desk, she found 2 letters from us. And so she called us on the phone to find out if we were still buying property. And obviously we are. So folks, these letters are very residual. Your sellers are going to hold on to them until their situation becomes such that they need your help. And so that's one of the really, really unique advantages to direct mail marketing. All right, so let's talk about target prospects. These are the target prospects that I particularly like to target. And while we're going through these target prospects, do me a favor, be thinking about what the demographic is where you live. Okay, so for example, I live in Florida, so I'm in the geriatric capital of the world. And I can say that now because I'm moving in that direction myself. So we have a lot of estate and probate properties. We have a lot of part-time residents because they bought the home as a vacation home, or maybe they thought they were going to retire here, or whatever that might be. We have people transferring in and out of the state for jobs. So those are some of the demographics that I use when I'm creating my marketing campaigns. So while we're talking about these target prospects, I want you to kind of be thinking about that. So first of all, we're talking about out-of-state owners. These are folks who own a home in the city or county where you live, but they don't live there full time. And I'm telling you right now in North Carolina, you have a very similar situation that we do here in Florida. You have a lot of folks who own vacation homes. You have a lot of folks, maybe they're buying that home and they think that they're going to retire there and then something changes. So these are really, really good leads. Quit claim deeds. This is where you're going to find a lot of those estate deals. And obviously estate deals are really, really good deals. So the quit claim deeds are another mailing that we like to do. Pre-foreclosures. How many folks are actively working pre-foreclosures? I know there's not a lot of it out there right now, but the pre-foreclosures that I'm talking about are the ones that nobody else knows anything about. And you see, that's one of the things you're going to find out about me tonight is that I am looking for the sellers that none of my competitors know anything about. Okay, and that's where the real money is. So pre-foreclosures, the ones that I'm talking about are basically a side product, if you will, or from the quitclaim and estate mailing. Because here's what happens. Generally speaking, when a person dies, the mortgage company does not initially file this pendants or notice of default because they know their borrower is dead. So now you have a property that has either gone to an heir or it's in probate and the payments are not being made on that property. So now you have a property that's inherited by an heir with a mortgage that's months behind on payments. Do you not think these are an ideal situation for a short sale? Yes or yes? Absolutely. I am actually in the middle of a short sale right now that came from the estate, that came from a vacant mailing that we did. So here's what happened. It was a vacant a vacant house that we had found. And so we contacted our skip tracer and he found the owner of that home. And she had inherited the property. She lives in Michigan. I'm here in Florida. So I called her on the phone and I asked her, what about this home? What are you going to do with it? It's in a really fantastic neighborhood. And she says, I don't care if it falls down. My father owned that house. I don't care about the house. So she ended up deeding it to us for the balance of the mortgage. So we ended up going ahead and contacting the mortgage company, and we are in the middle of that short sale right now. The gentleman has been dead for a year and a half. They never filed this pendants or notice of default on that property. So these are really good leads for you. Multifamily properties. Now, there are some of you in our audience tonight that are landlords and you're looking for that monthly income and to build equity for your business. Multifamily properties are a great way for you to do that. Now, when we start working together tonight, one of the list brokers that we work with actually can help you to customize that list based on the numbers per unit, per number of units per building that you're looking for. So if you're looking for duplexes, triplexes, quads, small apartment complexes, big apartment complexes, this is a really good direct mail campaign for you to focus on. Vacant and abandoned houses. Folks, if you are not working the vacant and abandoned houses in your area, you are missing the boat. Folks, these are free leads for you. Okay, you don't have to worry about marketing dollars. These are free leads. And there's a lot of different ways to find the owner of a vacant house. And the more difficult it is for you to find the owner of that vacant house, the better a deal you're going to make. All right, so that's another really good lead for you. Finding your dream home. This was a direct mail campaign that we designed to find the home that we currently live in. And actually, when we bought our home, we actually ended up getting almost $80,000 in equity, and the seller ended up doing an additional $4,000 worth of work to the home before we closed. Is this a motivated seller? Absolutely. Okay. And this is another direct mail campaign that has a lot of really great criteria that you can use to target the list that you're going to be working with. So the subdivision, the zip code area, how big the lot is, whether it's a 1-story or 2, how many bedrooms, how many baths, the size of the land, whether or not it's got a swimming pool. So there's a lot of different criteria that you can use to find the home for you and your family. This is also a really good one to use to find those luxury properties, because folks, luxury properties simply mean bigger paychecks. And you have a lot of those awesome luxury properties in the Raleigh-Durham area and all the areas in North Carolina, to be truthful. Getting the deed. This is another direct mail campaign that we do that brings us a high number of folks who are simply willing to deed us the home for the balance of the mortgage, which means, once again, you don't have to worry about where your money is coming from to fund that deal. Zip code mailer. Now, there are 2 zip code ranges that we like to target when we're doing the zip code mailer. One, obviously, are those luxury properties, because luxury properties simply mean bigger paychecks. The other are those good middle income areas, because whether you're going to wholesale that property, retail that property, lease option that property, work for equity, whatever you're going to do, there are lots of folks who want and need to live in these particular areas. So those are the 2 areas that I like to focus on with the zip code mailer. Attorneys. How many folks in our listening audience are working with attorneys to bring you deals? If you're not, do me a favor, write it down and put a big circle around it. Because when we start working together tonight, this is one of the first direct mail campaigns that I'm going to be wanting you to implement. So here's what happens. Folks, when an attorney has someone come to them and they need to sell a property quickly in order to liquidate assets for that person, no matter what condition the property is in, they're going to contact you first. So what we did was we created a direct mail campaign that targets specific kinds of attorneys who are much more likely to want to work with us. So we mail the letter out a couple of times, and then we follow it up with all the attorneys who haven't already followed up with us first. The first time I did this direct mail campaign, like 14 years ago, we developed relationships with 4 attorneys who still bring us deals today. So this is one that you don't have to market for a lot. And the other thing that's really cool is that attorneys talk to one another, and you'll start getting leads from other attorneys. The other thing that's really cool about working with attorneys is that attorneys know people who have money they need to invest. If you're a person of integrity and you do what you say you're going to do, when these attorneys either have someone come to them who needs to sell a property quickly, or they know someone who has money that need to invest, they're going to call you. And that's pretty amazing stuff. I'll give you an example. And this only happens a couple times a year. I only get that phone call, a couple times a year, probably, but that's enough for something that I didn't market for in the first place. So let me give you an example. I had an attorney call me about 6 years ago now, and he said, "Hey, how come you're not borrowing any money from me?" And I said, "I guess we got to get together for lunch and figure that out." And so we made plans to get together for lunch. And so I walked in the restaurant and he walked in the restaurant, and I went, "Hey, I know you." And he went, "Hey, I know you." Back when I was in my 20s, which was a very, very long time ago, I was the liaison between the banks and the courts. And so I would do the research and I would testify on behalf of the banks on bad check cases, kiting cases, stuff like that. And at that point in time, he was the attorney, the district attorney at the time, who was prosecuting those cases. And so we worked together every day for like 2 years. And then he went on to become a Florida state attorney. And obviously, I went on to become a real estate investor. And so we still kind of giggle about that these days. But over that lunch, I ended up with $1.5 million in additional funds for my real estate investing business. So it only happens once or twice a year, but it's pretty wonderful when it does. So the other part of that story is don't ever burn a bridge, because you never know when it's going to come back 30 some odd years later. All right, military transfers. So I know you have military transfers in North Carolina. I'm sorry, yeah, military bases in North Carolina. So I learned this particular technique when my son was stationed at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. So what basically happens is simply this. The military woos these men and women in, tells them they're going to be stationed somewhere for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever that might be. They bring their family, they use their VA certificate, they buy a home off base, they move in, they get all comfy, and 6 months later, they get transferred somewhere else. So now they have a home and a mortgage that they neither want nor need. And they're stuck between a rock and a hard place because they don't have the funds to write another big check for realtor fees and closing costs, because they just paid pretty much full retail for this home. So these are an ideal situation for you to simply have a home deeded to you for the balance of the mortgage and solve a problem for that military person, which is absolutely awesome. So now we're going to have to build equity, aren't we? Because we're going to have to let these, homes gain some value. Well, let me tell you, the way that you're going to do that is either by leasing them or lease optioning them. And also, let me tell you that working with the military is like working with Section 8 on steroids. Here's what happens. Military will help you to find the person to go into your property. The military takes the money out of their paycheck bi-weekly for your rent, and they will deposit it into your checking account once a month. If that person damages your property, guess who they have to answer to? Their superior officer, not you. Is this good stuff? Absolutely. This is another really effective direct mail campaign that none of your competitors are doing. And it's very, very easy to find the addresses that you're going to be mailing to. Also, when you're doing this particular marketing campaign, you also want to add signage, both on your vehicle and both in the area of the military base. So you're going to be using signage near the military base, signage on your vehicle, and these direct mail campaigns for these military transfers. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Free and clear properties. What that means to me are sellers who own their properties free and clear without a mortgage. And what that means for me is creative financing with that seller. So once again, you don't have to worry about where your money is coming from to fund that deal. And then expired listings. Folks, if you are not working with a realtor in your business, you absolutely need to be. We did one of the biggest deals we have ever done in our real estate business that came from an expired listing. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that deal in just a moment. So these are the 12 direct mail campaigns that I particularly like to work with. There are others that we also work with. So these are the 12. Each one has a different letter. Each one has a different list. Each letter has different language. Each list has different specific criteria that we use to hone in and hone in and hone in to find the most highly qualified sellers within each one of these groups. Okay, so that's kind of what we're talking about tonight. So let me tell you about this is the big house. We just couldn't think of another name for it. So it's the big house. Unusual here in Florida. The house is 13,000 square feet. This was an expired listing. The very short story is that the home belonged to a Major League Baseball player. He was a pitcher, shoulder injury, career over. That's the really short story. House was worth about $1.2 million. And so we ended up going out and taking a look at this property. The home is 13,000 square feet, very large home for here in Florida, 3-story home. We don't have 3-story homes here in Florida, and we don't have basements at all. They'd be underwater. So 6 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, 2.5 kitchens, ladies, 2-story game room, guys, okay, pool, jacuzzi, sauna, trophy room, weight room, on and on and on. Very large home. So it also had this amazing family room, and the home had been partied in heartily. Okay, so it needed rehab. You walk into this amazing family room, and along the back wall was a bar, and there were all these kegerators. Now, this house had been on the market for over a year and hadn't sold. So you walk into this family room, and the carpet went squish, 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 squish. What do you think it was? Think for a moment. What do you think it could have been? Beer. You're absolutely right. It was beer. Do you know what beer smells like after 12 months? It smells like cash. It smells just like money. We ended up buying this home for $650,000. We did about $80,000 in rehab. We came that close to moving in. This was the same builder that built the home that we currently live in. But the paycheck was too lucrative, and we really didn't want our kids moving back home. So we ended up selling the home for $1 million cash to an out-of-state buyer, because sometimes enough is just enough. And when everything was said and done, we walked away from that closing with a check for $169,000. One of the biggest deals that we've ever done in our real estate investing career. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I love it when a deal comes together. All right. So here's another little deal that we did down here in Florida. We work in a lot of different price ranges. Now, we ended up wholesaling this deal, and we never had the first conversation with the seller at all. So we ended up buying this property for $17,500. The after repair value was about $90,000, and we ended up wholesaling this for $12,500. Here's the letter that we got from the seller. This is the actual letter that we got from the seller. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Kennebrook, I just got your letter about buying my house in Bradenton. How did you know I needed to sell? My uncle left me this house. I don't know why he left me the house. I never even been to Florida, so I never even seen it. All I do know is that I'm not paying the tax bill I just got. Please go by and take a look and make me an offer and take this house off my hands. I'd appreciate it. My phone number is, and this is Glenda. So is this the kind of motivated seller you want to be working with in your business? Absolutely. We did this deal about 3 months ago. So what we ended up doing was we drove over to the house. We took a look at it. We have a couple of the rehabs going on right now and over the last 3 months. And so I didn't have time to rehab this one and put it back on the market. And we didn't have the manpower available. So we decided to go ahead and wholesale this. And we have some really great wholesale buyers in our pipeline. So what we did was we went over and we took several photographs of the property because Glenda had never seen it. And then we wrote Glenda an offer. We sent Glenda a contract. So we sent Glenda the photographs. We sent her a contract. We sent her a return priority mail envelope. And we sent her a mini credibility kit. Okay, very, very important. Glenda didn't know who we were from anything because she doesn't live in Florida. So in this mini credibility, we included a copy of our business card, the business card of our title company, the business card of our real estate attorney, and a couple of cards from our private lenders. And she called every single one of them. And I knew that she would because they usually do. So about a week later, here comes back my signed contract from Glenda. And so I called the title company because rule number one is that all of my wholesale buyers close at my title company. And so I called the title company, and my title lady's name is Kathy also. And I said, hey, Kathy, I've got a new deal coming across for you. I'm going to go ahead and send it over in a few minutes. And she said, oh, you're talking about Glenda. And I said, yeah, how did you know? She goes, oh, she's already called me. We're just waiting on you to send the contract over to me. Is this the kind of motivated seller you want to deal with? Absolutely. And so that was another deal that we closed. Just a quick $12,500 on a house that we owned for about 2 weeks. So that was all right. Here's another one. This is Kelly. Now, Kelly was asking $225,000 for the property. We ended up paying $180,000 for this one. We did about $12,000 in rehab, nothing real extensive, and we sold this one for $248,000. And our profit on this deal was $44,000. Dear Jay and Kathy, now mind you, Kelly wrote this letter also. I did not. Dear Jay and Kathy Kennerbrook, my name is Kelly, and I received an interesting letter from you today. Yes, me and my husband are interested in selling, but we want no games. We've been through a lot with trying to sell this house. You know, realtors, we're asking $225,000 for our property, and it's occupied. There's a mortgage on the property, and the amount owed is $155,000. The payments are current. There are 2 bedrooms, possible third, being used as an office right now, 1 bathroom. There is a newly renovated 2+ garage. We're selling because we want to move closer to family. Please contact us ASAP because we wanted our house sold like yesterday. And if you don't buy it, then we have to go with a realtor as our last resort. Thank you for your time. Is this the kind of motivated seller you want to be working with in your business? This is pretty typical of what comes across my desk. Okay. And then this is another property that we did. This is the Monkey House. Now, sometimes when you're doing direct mail campaigns, they're going to overlap, and that's what happened here. So she was actually in the divorce list that we do, the expired listings and the out-of-state owners. So what happened was she actually got the home in the divorce, and she moved to Indiana. So she's paying on a home she's making a mortgage payment on a home that she neither wants nor needs, and she lives in Indiana. Homes here in Florida. House had been on the market for over a year and had not sold. So she calls us on the phone, and we're talking a little bit about the home, and she had been raising capuchin monkeys in this home before she moved to Indiana. We call this one the Monkey House. Okay, this one is the Monkey House. And she mailed us the keys. Is this a motivated seller? She doesn't know me from anything. She lives in Indiana. She mails us the keys. This house is about 3 blocks from where I live. So the keys came in the mail. We got in the car. We went over there. We open up the front door, and there is monkey poop everywhere throughout the home, about that deep, all the way through the house. Can you tell me what monkey poop smells like? Money. That's absolutely right. So this home was worth about $420,000. We bought it for $225,000. We ended up doing about $70,000 to the home in rehab once the house was completely cleaned from top to bottom. Now, there's a little bit more to this story since we have a moment tonight. So what ends up happening is she ends up deciding to bring the monkeys with her for the closing from Indiana. She brings 2 of her monkeys. Kid you not. So Kathy at the title company says, oh, no. She's not bringing those monkeys to no, not happening. Okay, fine. So I talked to the seller, and we decide that, well, she's just going to leave the monkeys at the house while we close on the property. I mean, what more damage can they do? They've already done a bunch. So fine. So we get done with the closing. We get back to the house. She's got this big Ryder truck in the driveway. And on the big Ryder truck, she has this big metal cage for the monkeys. She's brought 2 of the monkeys with her, Rambo and Ryland. Rambo is about 3 feet tall. He's a reddish kind of a monkey, and he's got big fangs. Ryland is a baby monkey. He's about like 3 or 4 months old, just a little baby monkey. And so she goes in the house, and she gets Rambo, and she puts Rambo's leash on him, and she takes him out to the truck, and she puts him in the cage. And then she goes back in the house, and she gets Ryland, and she puts Ryland's little t-shirt on, and he puts his little diaper on, and she brings him out to the cage, and she puts him in the cage. Well, right about now, Rambo's decided he's not having any part of it. Gone monkey. So I live about oh my gosh, about a quarter of a mile or so from a major preserve. This house is 3 blocks from where I live. That monkey makes it to the preserve, it's over. So the seller, her son, my husband, and me chasing this stupid monkey all over, through people's yards, over fences, whole 9 yards. So we're trucking down. Can you picture this, right? So we're trucking down this road, and seller's in front of me, son's in front of her, monkey's in front of them, and there's a car coming down the street, and it's got these big thumper speakers. And so this guy thinks it's the funniest thing he's ever seen. So he pulls the car over and he opens the door and he grabs his iPhone and he's going to take pictures. And all of a sudden, in jumps the monkey, in jumps the seller. You can't make this stuff up. I have never been so glad to see a seller leave. So that's kind of what we're doing down here in Florida as far as homes. So we ended up doing about $70,000 of rehab to this property. And when everything was said and done, we walked away with a check for $85,000. Isn't she gorgeous? I drive by this house a lot and she's just beautiful. So anyway, that's what we're doing down here in Florida. All right, so let's talk about results from direct mail campaigns. Now, this is one particular direct mail campaign that we did, because I just wanted to kind of show you what kind of results we're getting from these and what you can do with them as well. So we mailed out about 2,500 letters in a year on this particular direct mail campaign, about 200 letters per month. So that's about 50 letters per week. That's doable, right? I mean, absolutely. We got 196 leads, about 16 leads per month. That's about an 8% response rate. Is that okay? Absolutely. And I know some of you are going, no, 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 no. Yes, yes, yes. Here's the reason that this happens. And I get the question all the time. So we're going to cover it right now. Part of the reason that our results are so high is the letter that we send and the list that we use to find these highly motivated sellers. Within each list that I use, we use specific criteria to hone in more and more to find the most highly qualified sellers within each list that we mail to. And that's why our response rates are so high. We keep our letters personal and we add that response mechanism. So we're telling the sellers exactly what we want them to do and what information we need in order to determine whether or not there's a deal there to be made. We're not sending out some generic postcard or some generic letter. What we're doing is very, very targeted and very, very intentional. And that's why our response rates are as high as they are. So we ended up buying 14 of those properties. Total cash and equity was $502,000. Total cost of mailing is $2,200. Net profit $500,000. How many folks could use an extra $500,000 in the next 12 months? Anybody out there? I certainly hope so. Otherwise, you're independently wealthy. So there is a caveat. And the caveat is simply this, folks, if you don't put the key in the ignition and start the engine, the motor isn't going to run. Folks, direct mail marketing is a machine that will bring you deal after deal after deal after deal after deal after deal, no matter what your real estate market is doing. This is good, good stuff. So I know the next question that's burning on your heart is, Kathy, when should I start implementing direct mail? Folks, now, and right now would be really good. Now, interestingly, in North Carolina, okay, so let me start with us in Florida. For us in Florida, our property tax bills went out in November and they were late at the end of March. So we want you to start doing direct mail campaigns as soon as your property tax bills come out. So we, for example, start implementing even more direct mail campaigns from October to May, because we want to catch all those folks that got the property tax bills that they didn't want or need. Secondly, we are just in the second quarter of the year, and I want you to be super, super successful this year. And I want you to start implementing some direct mail campaigns and get some deals coming in. Interestingly, for you folks in North Carolina, you get 2 bites of the apple. We only get 1. You have tax bills going out twice. Okay, one of those is, I think, January, and the other is September. I might be wrong on the first one, but the second one is September. So you guys get 2 bites of the apple, which is amazing. So that means that you have even more motivated sellers all year long. So you want to start implementing these direct mail campaigns right now so we can start really getting some good deals coming in for you. So I know the next question that's burning on your heart is, Kathy, where do I get the list? Couple of different ways to do that. One is from your property appraiser's office or assessor's office, wherever that might be where you live. And I think in North Carolina, it is the assessor's office. And you're going to go down there and you're going to get the list from them, because this is a list that you're going to use residually for a year. So you want to make sure that you get the list done correctly the first time. Okay, so you can go to your assessor's office and get that list. Another way is by using internet resources. Now, let me tell you, there's the good, the bad, and the ugly on that. How do you think I know? So anytime you are testing a new list, I want you to mail out 100 pieces. How many bad addresses did we get? And we will get a few. No list is perfect. How many responses did we get? If you get a letter back in the mail that's marked vacant or deceased, the post office just did your job for you. Get working on those right away. So that's another way to get the list. Now, when we start working together tonight, I provide the list brokers for you, no matter where you live across the country. So we have the resources for you to get the lists exactly the way you need them in order to create your direct mail campaigns. So there are some specific keys to your success or failure when you are marketing to find motivated sellers. Number one, you want to target the right prospects, and we've already talked about that. Number two, folks, you have to make it easy for the seller to respond. The more ways you give a seller to respond to you, the more of them are going to, because you're going to be reaching them at their comfort level. So give them a phone number, give them a fax number, give them a mailing address, give them an email address, give them that website address if you have it. Now, fax number? Really? Yes. We test and track every single thing that comes through our office. Approximately 11% of our total leads right now are still coming in by fax. When that changes to a significant enough number that I don't want to do it anymore, then I won't do it. But my fax machine sits right next to my desk. And for those of you who don't have a fax machine, there are all kinds of free computer faxes out there for you to download to your computer. It's so easy, but you need to, I don't want you to lose that 11% of potential sellers. So mail, email, fax, phone number, and website address are the ways that you are going to provide for that seller to make it easier for them to respond to you. Now, I will tell you that 90% of the sellers that I work with do not pick up a phone and call me. 90% of the sellers that I work with are contacting me by mail, email, and fax. Why do you think that might be? Well, number one, I told them to. And number two, it's the easiest way for them to send me photos, which I also ask for. You see, all this is kind of starting to come together. You need to use the right language. You need to use the right letter. You need to use a proven list. You need to use lists that you know are going to work. You need to use a proven system. Folks, I don't want you out there trying to recreate the wheel, because it's going to cost you a whole lot more money to do that. And I want you to be consistent with your marketing. You should always have between 3 and 5 different marketing techniques in place at all times. And one of those must be direct mail marketing. So whether you're just doing a little bit of marketing or doing a lot of marketing, you always need to be consistent with your marketing. And then you need to take the time to follow up with semi-motivated sellers. You see, if you do this, you will make a ton of money in your real estate investing business that most investors simply don't. Here's what happens. When you make an offer, for example, to a seller, and they say, wow, I don't know, I'm just not sure, I don't know if I'm ready. That means they have heartstrings attached to that property and they're not sure. Or if they say to you, are you out of your mind? I can't take that offer. All they're saying to you is, no, not today, but could you follow up with me every 60 or 90 days until I change my mind? Folks, get your ego out of the equation and start doing some deals. Now, there are two ways that we use to follow up with semi-motivated sellers. One is by using an autoresponder system. So you download your email to the autoresponder system one time, and it will automatically send it to that seller every 30 or 60 days, whatever you decide. And the email that I use is very, very simple. It really basically says, hey, it's Kathy again. When you're ready to sell, I'm ready to buy. Hey, it's Kathy again. When you're ready to sell, I'm ready to buy. It's that simple. For the folks who do not have computers, we use a postcard system, and basically it's the same thing. Hey, Mr. Smith, when you're ready to sell, I'm ready to buy. Hey, it's Kathy again. It's basically the same formula. Now, if it's a house I really like and I really want, then I kind of have a tendency to go a little bit sideways and send them like cards. So happy Easter. When you're ready to sell, I'm ready to buy. Happy 4th of July. When you're ready to sell, I'm ready to buy. You know how many houses that I've bought doing this? 40% of my total deals have come from the follow-up with semi-motivated sellers. Folks, when a seller initially says no to whatever your offer is, don't throw it in the garbage. Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Okay. So write that down. I mean, you're getting some really good aha moments and some really golden nuggets to take with you tonight. All right, so let's talk about response rates from sequential mailings. Now, these are mine and my students throughout the country. First mailings on the average, about 5 to 7%. Second mailings, 8 to 12. Third mailings, 13 to 16% or more. To the same list. Folks, residual is key to your success. The more you gently touch your seller with your message, the more deals you're going to close, because you're gaining integrity and credibility with these sellers as time goes on. And so you're going, not only are you sowing seeds for deals today, but you're sowing seeds for deals tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. Okay, so really, really important to do these residual mailings. A lot of your competitors will simply send out a generic mailing once and they don't get hardly any response, and then they wonder why it doesn't work. Well, I'm telling you tonight all the reasons that it does work and all of the ways that I want you to make it work. Okay. So let me share with you a couple of letters from students. This is Marilyn. This is Ronnie. Ronnie sent out 35, get this, 35 letters to a pre-foreclosure mailing. Now, this letter is almost a year ago. This is my second testimonial, and he ended up making $132,000 in profit from those from that deal. Now, I will tell you that Ronnie lives up in Maryland. Maryland is a huge area, very, some kind of expensive houses. And I will also tell you that all of the deals that I'm about to show you are with real students who did real deals. Because one of the things that I do is anytime I get these testimonials, I call title companies, I check and make sure that they are real before I ever bring them to the screen. So here's one from Florida, because I had to bring one from home. This is David. David is in South Florida. He mailed out 400 letters, created 2 deals with absentee owners for a total profit of $142,000. And this absolutely amazing. This is Son. Son lives in Oklahoma City. This deal he just did 3 months ago. He put the house under contract for $10,000. He wholesaled it for $14,000. Quick profit of $4,000. Now that's just a small wholesale, but it was enough. It ended up paying for my entire system that he implemented and some change left over so that he could create even more marketing in his business. And then this is Stan. Stan is from North Carolina. This is amazing. Folks, you've got some cool stuff going on in North Carolina. Kathy, I want to take a moment to let you know about the success I've had using your lead generation system. I bought the Marketing Magic package after you did a webinar earlier this year. We initially sent out 50 letters to multifamily owners to test the list. We received 6 responses. I've purchased 2 duplexes and 1 fourplex out of those 6 responses. Now, I didn't believe this, so I checked it out, and it's absolutely true. I didn't use a dime of my own money, only owner financing and money partners into the 3 properties, and we've achieved great positive cash flow. We're ramping up to mail 100 letters a week by the end of the month. Thank you so much for stepping into my life at the right moment. I'm truly grateful. I can't tell you how much I am honored and how much I am humbled when I receive letters like this from my students all over the country. And I have a personal affinity for North Carolina because I own some homes in North Carolina in the Jacksonville area, which is near the military base. So I love North Carolina. Anyway, this is Texas. This is David. David mailed out 600 letters to out-of-state owners, 19 responses, 4 deals. Net profit, $130,000. Is that okay, guys? I hope so. This is what it's all about, is creating leads with awesome, awesome sellers. Never have I had results like this before, and I've been doing mailings for 4 years. Kathy, thanks again. And then this is one more from North Carolina. This is Jeremy. Jeremy is adorable. Jeremy, if you're on the phone, you're adorable. Jeremy got my system back at the end part of last year. And he started implementing direct mail campaigns. And so every time he gets another response or he mails some more letters, he sends me an email. So I get emails from Jeremy about every 2 to 3 weeks. Just wanted to give you an update after my first mailing of 100 letters to out-of-state owners. 2 calls, 1 appointment to see a property next week, and 2 responses mailed back to me. 1 woman wrote 2 whole pages. I couldn't believe it. Thanks again. Second update, November 29th. Same mailing. I've gotten 4 more responses to that same mailing. This is amazing. I'm getting a ton of information with each lead coming in. Thank you so much. And that's pretty cool. And then this is Scott. Scott is in Tennessee, and I included this letter because he got it. He gets it. He mailed out 200 letters, created his first wholesale deal with a net profit of $10,000. Just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate your putting the system together. You forgot one thing though, the word warning. Follow the instructions and the system will work. I did exactly what you said to do, and in a short time, I had my first duplex under contract, which I wholesaled for a profit of $10,000. While only a small wholesale, it demonstrates that this is just so easy to do. The most incredible part of the leads. I'm just sending a minimum of 100 letters per week, and the leads are coming in by fax, email, and mail, just like you said they would. I can't believe how easy the system is to use and how effective it's been to increasing my profit. Are you noticing that they're not mailing out like, I mailed out 4,000 letters, I mailed out 5,000 letters? You're not hearing those words at all. So whether you can only afford to start with a few letters or you're a seasoned investor who can do more letters, you are going to create deals. So I know the next question that's burning on your heart is, Kathy, do I have to do all the work? Absolutely not. Folks, the more minutia you get out of your lives, the more deals you are going to create. So let's talk about marketing on autopilot. Number 1, you select your target campaign. Each of you is in a different place in your investing career. Each one of you lives in a different area. Each one of you has different goals and dreams for your business. So you are going to select your target direct mail campaign. You're going to have a part-time person do the work for you. This could be a stay-at-home mom, an older child, someone from a senior center, college student, lots of great choices. Hand them my system. It will train them for you. Each one of the direct mail campaigns stands completely alone in the manuals. So all you have to do is pull out that section, hand it to the person doing the direct mail campaigns for you, and you're ready to rock. Number 4, you are going to mail the letters. This is the last check that you have to make sure the work got done. And it's going to be the beginning of tracking the responses that you're getting from your direct mail. Number 5, we're going to start working on those responses, and then we're going to create some really profitable deals. So does that sound incredibly simple? Absolutely. But what if I could make it easier for you? Because I can, and I will. I have created relationships with companies who will do all of the work for you. All you do is provide the letter and the list, and they will do everything else for you. So if you want to mail out 25 letters a week, 100 letters a week, 200 letters a week, 300 letters a week, whatever that is, 500 letters a week, that'd be way too many. That would be way too many because you wouldn't be able to handle all the responses that would be coming in. Folks, this is so easy for you to do. I've created a system basically that will take you from a very beginner investor to a very senior investor, a very experienced investor very, very quickly, and everywhere in between. So it's completely flexible with where you are in your business. So this is Daryl. Daryl is amazing. Daryl lives up in the DC, Maryland area. So he's working in a very tight, thick, expensive market. So this was so great. I finally got to meet Kathy in person. I studied her program extensively. To date, all of my marketing and all of my deals were a direct result of Kathy's program. To date, all of my marketing and all of my deals were a direct result of Kathy's program. Let me tell you a little bit about Daryl. Daryl is retired military. He's a young man. He has youngsters at home. And his dream was to get rid of that full-time job that he had after he got out of the military and start spending more time with his children and with his wife. And that was the goal, the ultimate goal that Daryl had. Daryl bought my system on my website. He never had the opportunity to meet me. He never heard me speak anywhere, and he never emailed me the first question about the system, which he absolutely could have. He just picked up that manual. He followed the directions. He implemented the system. He started doing some deals. And in a year's time, Daryl had done over $1 million in deals using nothing but my direct mail system. And he was named the DC Real Estate Investor of the Year. Folks, I want you to be a Daryl. I want you to jump in, jump on board, jump in, follow the directions, implement the system, ask me any question that you want about your marketing. And I want you to be a Daryl. I want you to be super, super successful. Okay. So let's talk about my combined results over the last 12 months. We mailed out about 11,000 letters total, about 900 letters a month. That's pretty steady and pretty average for what we do. We got about a 7.5% response rate overall. We made approximately $73 for every single letter that left our office, creating a 7-figure income for our business. My degree is in finance. I just can't help myself. So I know the next question that you're asking is, Kathy, how can I get on board so I can start making the same big profits that you do? Because I'm only going to make this very special offer tonight to the first 5 people who jump on board. And how can I get all of my money back on your system so there is absolutely no cost to me, plus over $9,700 in additional bonuses? Folks, you need to be one of the first 6 folks. That's what I set this up, sorry. The first 6 folks to invest in my system tonight. I will tell you that this offer is being offered specially for TRIA. I had a chance to talk to Carl about this before this event. I have never had the opportunity to talk for this amazing, amazing club. These guys are fantastic. You know you're in the right place to be very successful with TRIA, don't you? I hope you do, as folks out there in our listening audience tonight. So the offer that I am making tonight is a special offer that I put together just for this event. You will not find it online. If you Google me, you will not find it on my website. This is a special offer that we are making for the folks here in North Carolina this evening. So what you need to do is you need to go to www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. KATHYS, kathysmarketingmagic.com. The whole deal is laid out there for you with everything that we're going to offer. Jump on board, grab your spot. Please be one of the first 6 folks tonight, because I'm going to tell you before I end tonight how you can get all of your money back on my system. And I know my system works, so that we're only going to make that very special offer to just a few people. So www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. Come on back, make sure that you listen. I'm going to go through everything that's in my system and all the amazing bonuses that we're going to offer. So I'm offering all 12 of the complete step-by-step direct mail campaigns with complete directions for everything and complete directions to automate the system and get it into someone else's hands very quickly. I include all the letters and the info sheets for the sellers and the list brokers. There are 24 additional marketing techniques and samples of all of them, and we're going to go through those in just a moment. There's also an audio set in there and the tracking charts to go with it. So I want you to start listening to the audios. I will tell you that all of the forms, all of the letters, all of the audios and all of that are on a thumb drive or USB for you. So it's very, very easy for you to go ahead and download those and use them. You're also going to receive my personal Magic Seller phone conversations. One of the things that you're going to find out about me when we start working together tonight is that I am very, very cognizant of my students' needs. And one of the problems that students were having is still with pre-screening sellers. So I created this manual to go with my system. What I did was I pulled real deals with real sellers for all 12 direct mail campaigns, both motivated and non-motivated. We went back into the studio and we recreated the conversations we had with those sellers. At the end of each conversation, I analyzed the deal for you as to why we did buy it or didn't buy it. And if we did buy it, what the exit strategy was and why. For those of you who are beginner investors, write this down because I want you to start by looking at that as well. For those of you who are seasoned investors, this is a training tool that you're going to be using when you have new folks coming into your organization. So let's talk about some of the other techniques that I also cover. So not only 12 direct mail campaigns, but 24 other marketing techniques and samples of all of them. Signage, banners, yard signs, bus bench advertising, how to compile other kinds of mailing lists. So this is where you're going to find divorces, marriages, the obituaries, eviction, bankruptcy, some of those other direct mail campaigns that are also very, very effective. Buses, taxi cabs, flyers, business cards, how to use vendors as bird dogs, how to use Facebook ads and Craigslist ads, how to use free announcements and press releases in your business, how to use realtors, bulletins, and programs in your business, how to use code enforcement to bring you deals. Folks, if you are not using code enforcement to bring you deals, you are missing the boat. How to use mortgage brokers and lenders as bird dogs, estate sales, auctions, wholesale buyers, how to use postcards to attract buyers because we want to be building that buyers list as well. How to find more private lenders, how to use internet marketing, how to use advertorials, and all kinds of unique marketing tools. Folks, my system is the most complete marketing system out there ever. Whether you want to do deals today, tomorrow, next week, next year, 5 years from now. Okay. You will not find a system like this anywhere else out there. Your investment in my system tonight is going to be only $1,697. However, this is one of our first bonuses. I am going to be offering a very special discount for you tonight because I didn't get on an airplane. I didn't pay for a flight, no hotels or anything like that. I'm going to offer a very special discount of $500 to the first 6 folks who take action right now, making your investment only $1,197. Now, when you take action right now, I'm also going to include for you the first $9,700 in those bonuses for those first 6 motivated folks who take action right now. And then you're going to find out how you can own the system at no cost to you whatsoever. So go over to www.kathysmarketingmagic.com, kathysmarketingmagic.com. Now, I am still finding that some of my students prefer CDs over the thumb drive. So once you've ordered your product, go ahead and email me at kpaddler, KPADDLER @att.net if you want the CDs instead of the thumb drive. Okay, and then we'll order it for you and send it to you with CDs instead of a thumb drive. I only make that offer on these Zoom calls because it's easier for me since we're shipping everybody's orders. So if you want the thumb drive or the USB, you don't have to do anything. Just order your product and pay for it. And then if you want the CDs instead of the thumb drive, just go ahead and email me at kpaddler @att.net. Okay. So let's talk about the bonuses. The first bonus is my 24-hour recorded message. It's $149 value. Now I provide this for you both as an audio and as transcribed copy. Okay, so you can download this into your system and be ready to rock with a 24-hour recorded message, and it's $149 value. You're also going to receive my personal $1 million resource kit. Now, I gave this a value of $497, but in my personal opinion, it's absolutely priceless. This is where you're going to find the list brokers to provide those lists for you. This is where you're going to find the companies to do the mailings for you. This is where you're going to find hard money lenders. This is where you're going to find discounted pricing on everything that you need for your business. So whether it's signage or business cards or apparel or whatever that might be, I have negotiated discounted pricing on all of that for you. And that's a $497 value. Pre-qualifying your dream team realtor. This is a $199 value, and you have the right to duplicate this particular item. Now, I did an interview with a realtor of over 40 years, and he wrote out all the questions for me as to all the things that that realtor should be doing for you in your business. This does come on CD so that you can copy it and give it to those realtors that you're hopefully going to have working with you in your business, so they know exactly what you expect from them. And that's a $199 value. The next bonus that you're also going to receive is guerrilla tactics to boost your credit score. Not only will this help you to increase your own credit score, but it's a fabulous training tool for the tenant buyers going into your properties. And that's why I built this. You have the right to duplicate this as well, and give this to the tenant buyers going into your property so they know exactly what you expect and exactly what things are going to hurt their credit and exactly what things that they can do to increase their credit score so they can close on your property. I always set my tenant buyers up to succeed. I don't want them to fail. And so every person going into one of my lease option properties gets this product. There is also a 4 bonus audio pack that you're also going to receive. So you're going to learn about what a credibility kit is and why you need to have one. You're going to learn about some no-nonsense marketing strategies like sponsorships and using apparel in your business. You're also going to learn how to follow up with those semi-motivated sellers and how to use software in your business to keep track of what you're doing. And that's a $495 value. Are we doing okay so far? But wait, there's more. You are also going to get a consulting certificate with me. Folks, you have 12 months to work directly with me on your marketing via email, and I will answer any question that you may have regarding your marketing, and you receive my personal email address. I don't know of hardly any other guru out there that does that, but you have me at your disposal. And they call me the fastest guru in the Northeast, South, and West. I always, whenever I travel or whenever I'm out, I always have either my laptop or my iPad or my phone on me so I can answer your questions. Quick piece of advice. When you invest in my system tonight and when you're emailing me questions, do me a favor and print them out and keep them in a folder. I've had a lot of students tell me that that's a really good idea because I'm real thorough with my answers and then they can refer back to it later. Folks, that's a $4,500 value, and I'm only going to be offering that to the first 6 folks who take action tonight because I don't like overfilling my support with so many people that I can't do the one-on-one that I normally do. And so you have 12 months to ask me any question that you may have on marketing. The next bonus that you are going to receive is an entitlement certificate. This entitlement certificate entitles you to a 30-minute consultation with my personal CPA. I get asked about this a lot. My CPA is a CPA of over 45 years. He is also a real estate investor of almost 40 years. He is also one of 12 in the country who is admitted to practice before the U.S. tax court. He charges $250 for a consultation. It is a 30-minute consultation. I have 6 of those available tonight. He is very strict about it. I'm only allowed to do a certain number of these certificates for each event that I do. Do me a favor, when you make your appointment with my CPA, write down the questions that are burning on your heart. It doesn't have to be real estate related, and pick the man's brain. This man is so smart, it's scary. He has been my personal CPA for over 30 some odd years now. He knows the real estate investing industry backwards and upside down. And every time I hang up the phone from a conversation with him, I just shake my head because I'm in awe, of everything this man knows. And even all these years later, he still continues to blow me away. So that is another bonus that we have for the first 6 folks tonight. Absolutely awesome. Make sure that you make your appointment and write down whatever questions are burning on your heart. The next bonus that I have for you tonight, okay, and my thing just quit. There it goes. Okay, phew, is the live auction boot camp DVD set. Folks, this is amazing. You are going to learn how to sell properties by auctioning them or using the round robin auction, which is an extremely good way to sell property. So you're going to learn the auction process step by step. They actually used one of my round robin auctions in this particular event. You're going to hear a live panel discussion from students who have done it, the good, the bad, and the bloody. You're going to learn how to create a successful round robin auction. This is an information-packed 4 DVD set. It's a $1,497 value. That is what the students paid that went to this event. I am restricted as to how many of these I am allowed by the promoter to give to the students at each one of my events. We have 6 of these available tonight for you. Also, when you order on www.kathysmarketingmagic.com, if your order goes through, you are one of the first 6. So I get that question a lot too. If you are not, it will tell you. All right. The next bonus that you are also going to receive is a very, very special bonus. You are going to receive a scholarship for the Millionaire Jumpstart Bootcamp with Lewis Brown. Now, this is an incredibly info-packed intensive. Basically, it is a 3-day intensive. You're going to learn what contracts to use and when. You're going to learn how to determine the exit strategy. You're going to learn how to determine buying strategies, negotiation skills, asset protection, how to use land trusts. There are multiple dates and cities to choose from. We have 6 of these available. He charges $1,997 for this boot camp. For those of you who know Lou Brown, I love him to pieces. He is the cheapest man on earth. So we have 6 of these available tonight. This was a special bonus. I just got back from teaching a boot camp that I teach for Lou Brown every year. I just got back from Atlanta last Sunday. So I was able to get some more scholarships from him while I was up there. So I have 6 of those to share with you tonight. Folks, you will not find this deal anywhere else tonight. So this is a 3-day intensive. There are multiple dates and cities to choose from. You can bring your spouse or partner free. It's a $1,997 value. So I also offer a 30-day free look enrollment plan. Folks, give us a deposit tonight of $1,197, knowing that if my system wasn't every single thing I told you it was going to be, you have 30 days to get it back to us. Is that fair? I mean, I don't know any other way to make it more easy for you to do what you need to do, which is finding more motivated sellers. But wait, maybe there is. Here's one more letter that I wanted to share. This is Ted, and Ted is in Tennessee. Ted was so impressed with my marketing and with my system that he ended up jumping into my coaching program. Dear Kathy, I just wanted to send you a quick email to update you on my progress since implementing your direct mail campaigns. I started with the attorney letter, expired listings, and absentee owners. I can't believe how much momentum is going already. I've gotten 15 responses just this last week, and I've written offers on 3 of those so far. One seller accepted my offer already. Thank you for putting together such an amazing system, and thank you for answering all of my questions. Your system is increasing my bottom line in a big way. And Scott was so impressed by what we were doing that he ended up jumping into my coaching program also. Folks, this is absolutely an amazing system that will help you to find all of the deals that you need. Now, folks, how many of you in our listening audience tonight would take my system If it was absolutely free, would anybody do that? I wish I could hear you, but I can't. So how many folks would take it if it was absolutely free? I bet everybody would. So here's what I am going to offer for you. I am going to offer a special incentive rebate. When you do a deal using one of my 12 direct mail campaigns within the next 12 months, and you send me a copy of your testimonial letter, proof that you did the deal, and a copy of your profit check, I will refund the entire amount of $1,197, and you keep the system and all of the bonuses. Why would I do that? Well, I will tell you, this is why we have only 6 of these available, because I know my system works, and I'm only willing to write a certain number of $1,197 checks every month. Folks, you have no excuse. You have no excuse at all. If somebody was out there 14, 15, 16 years ago, willing to give me my money back to get out there and do what I need to do in the first place, which is find the motivated sellers to create more deals for my real estate investing business, I would have jumped on that in a heartbeat. Folks, this is the best way that I know for you not to stick it on a shelf. I want you to get it. I want you to open it up. I want you to start implementing right away. If you have questions about your marketing along the way, I am here to hold your hand. This is the best way that I know to make you do more deals. Okay. So folks, take action right now. You have no excuse. You must be one of the first 6 folks to take action right now. You're going to receive my Marketing Magic System, all of the discounts and the bonuses valued at over $10,000, and the rebate certificate. So go to www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. I know we covered a lot. The whole deal is laid out there for you. This is a special that we are offering just for tonight for the first 6 folks who jump on with us. www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. If you want CDs instead of the USB or instead of the thumb drive, please email me at kpaddler, KPADDLER @att.net, kpaddler@att.net. Let me know that when we send you, your system will include CDs instead of the thumb drive. So please let me know which way you want it. If you're ordering it with the thumb drive, you're fine. Just place your order and you're all set, because they automatically go out with the thumb drive unless you tell me otherwise. Okay, so go to www.kathysmarketingmagic.com and go ahead and grab your set. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. All right, so do we have some questions out there tonight?
We have a couple. Guys, if you have questions, put them in the chat. Before we start, let me say, Kathy, in North Carolina, we are a attorney closing state, so we don't close at title companies. We close at attorney's office. I am a closing attorney. I've had children in my office. I have had dogs in my office. I have yet to have monkeys in my office.
I know.
But I wouldn't say no, because you know what? I think monkeys are super cute. So I would actually let them bring the monkeys to my office.
No,
oh my God, no, they're smelly and they're nasty.
But
that's
so
a big
cute.
smelly one with the fangs. He was terrible.
They're smelly and they can be
They would have to
mean,
clean up the poop, but they would be welcome.
No, craziness.
Yep, that's
No monkeys.
Okay, so sorry, my dogs chose this moment to start barking. I have a couple questions. Do you use a specific company to print and ship your letters?
We actually have more than one company, so that we have multiple ideas for the students. So whether they want to mail out 25 letters a week, 50 letters a week, 100 letters a week, 100 letters a month, whatever they want to do, we have the flexibility so that we have different, there's more than one company that will provide those services for them. So they have choices.
Okay, when you sell, do you do a lot of owner financing?
We do some, not a lot. I do more owner financing on vacant land deals as opposed to houses. We do a lot of retail. I have a lot of rentals. I do lease option. I do work for equity. I like doing work for equity because it gives my buyer the opportunity to you get some sweat equity in that property. So that's pretty awesome. So no, I don't do a whole lot of owner financing.
So the follow-up to that was, how do you remain compliant with Dodd-Frank? But it sounds like you don't get to a level where that's a problem.
No, we don't. And actually, we have a team of real estate attorneys who work in our business on a regular basis with us to make sure that we're doing everything correctly, even like with our private lenders and all of that. So they keep us straight.
Yeah, so I will say, if you have a good attorney, it's fairly easy to remain compliant with that. It's pretty simple. Just get some advice on that. That was Tahida who asked that question. Okay, does your system provide information on how to get funding?
Yes, I don't cover a lot of private lending, but I do cover some private lending. We talk about, obviously, getting properties, taking the deed. We talk about creating seller financing. So we do talk about some creative ways to get the funding for their deals. And that's really, and I talk a little bit about wholesaling. So it's really important for our students to have a variety of ways to get the deals done, because not all of them have private lenders available like we do at this point in time, which is one of the reasons that I provided that attorney letter, because I really want them to be able to use attorneys to help them with deals and to help them attain funding for deals. So that's kind of one of the ways that we find private lending. Actually, when I do the one day that I'm covering on May the 1st, we will go into private lending extensively. So for those of you folks, I wanted to mention that I am doing a one day for this wonderful TRIA group on May the 1st. We will be doing a review of direct mail marketing. We will be covering all kinds of unique marketing tools. I'll be talking about how to create that credibility kit. We'll be talking about private lending. And then there's a whole section I'll be doing in the afternoon on how to buy, sell, and lease vacant land, because vacant land is a huge profitable area of real estate investing that a lot of people simply aren't doing. So please go ahead and get registered for the event on May 1st. We actually were supposed to do it this Saturday coming up, but I can't. So May 1st is the date that we have set for that. And so that's going to be absolutely exciting. Another whole info pack day. And I'm really excited about doing that too.
Yeah, awesome, man. That is going to be great. More information from Kathy. Woohoo. So let's see. Wanted to ask what types of attorneys you target when marketing, assuming it's estate attorneys?
We family law, estates, probate attorneys, bankruptcy attorneys, and so forth. So generally, and the ones that do general law, divorce, family law. So we like to work with the attorneys who are much more likely to bring us deals.
Is there a particular skip tracing service you recommend?
We actually use a couple of different ones, and we have that information in the Marketing Magic system. One of the ones that I like is findtheseller.com. But again, we have resources for all. I have resources for all of the tools that they need for that stuff in the Marketing Magic system. So they're going to find the list brokers. They're going to find the companies to do the mailings for them. The resources for the skip tracer. So thank you for bringing that up. Hard money lending, and then all of the resources that they need for their business cards and apparel and signage and all of those kinds of items. So we kind of want, I wanted to create the resources for them so that they have everything that they need to start getting their marketing in place. And when I come back on May the 1st, we'll also be covering some really cool, unique stuff that's free marketing. So I'd like to see them come on back on May the 1st as well. So it's going to be very expansive day. So between the vacant land and finding private lending and finding more marketing and working with credibility kits, we got a pretty full day planned.
Awesome. And there is a link on our calendar to sign up for that May 1st. That's a free deep dive. So that's going to be awesome. I have one more question, Kathy. What is your formula for MAO?
Okay, what is MAO in your language?
Maximum allowable offer.
Oh, okay. So we call that something different where I'm from. Okay, so basically the way that and again, it depends on how the deal comes to us. If it's a deal, for example, that I'm going to rehab and sell, Okay, so I am going to figure out what the market value of that property is, figure 65 to 70% of the value, subtract the rehab from that, determine my profit and make the offer. If I'm wholesaling it, then the wholesale fee comes out of that as well. But that's going to be a little bit different because it depends on how the deal comes at us. If I'm taking the deed to a property, that's going to be a different formula also. So it just depends on how the deals are coming at us. But typically, if it's something that I'm going to buy, rehab, and retail, which we do a lot of, if the property is worth $100,000, for example, then I'm going to make money at 65 to 70% of that, less the rehab. And then that will determine if there's enough profit there for me, and then we make the offer. And sometimes we buy them even lower than that. Sometimes we buy them for 50 cents on the dollar. It just depends on the situation.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The maximum offer you're going to make on a subject to is way different than what you're going to make on a rehab, which is way different than what you're going to make on a wholesale. So you have to be flexible there. Okay, this is the last question. How often do you market to your list?
Okay, depends on which mailing and which list. Each one is different. Each one has different criteria, and each one has a different time frame. Usually they are every 30 to 60 days. And there are reasons for each one of the 12 direct mail campaigns, but generally the follow-up is every 30 to 60 days. If they have not followed up with us in a year's time, then we generally drop that list and start with a brand new one in that following year. And all of that is covered for you in the Marketing Magic system.
Okay, listen, wow, that was so much. I've seen a lot of these presentations. I don't think I've ever seen one with so many bonus. Like, how do you do that Lou Brown thing? Never mind. That's a rhetorical question, but wow. I've never seen anything like this, you guys. So wow is all I have to say. I hope you all will come back for the Saturday on May 1st. That's going to be super awesome. Kathy, cannot thank you enough. This was, I mean, amazing.
Great.
Like,
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad to finally have the opportunity to speak for your club. It's been a really long time, and either I didn't have the date or you didn't have the date, and it's been a lot of that over the last 3 years. So,
well, we're definitely going to get you back.
yes, you are.
Yeah.
I am so happy and grateful. I am so honored to have the opportunity to speak to you guys and your students. Again, I have a personal affinity for North Carolina anyway, so it's my favorite areas. And so I'm just really glad to be here. I'm really glad that Carl got with me and we finally got it together. So for your last call, go to www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. If the order goes through, you are one of those first 6. So www.kathysmarketingmagic.com. And I'm looking forward to working with all of your folks over the next year to help them be very successful with their marketing.
That is amazing. We are looking forward to it as well. Again, cannot thank you enough. This was totally awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for being here and hanging out with us, and hope you all have a great night.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Stay
everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks. See everybody Thursday. Crap.
Yep. Crap.
You are the most annoying dogs in the world right now.
It's a cute dog, Kathy.
Oh my God. Well, my son just visited my sister, and I couldn't pick him up because I had this meeting. So I had to take an Uber home, and when they pulled in the driveway, they both just went crazy.
Kathy Baresta's dog started barking Ollie. It's like, why is Ollie barking? It's like, because Kathy's dogs are barking.
Oh my God. That's great.
Ollie was barking.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Wow, that was